Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
I find it kind of odd that they would have a season finale in the middle of season.
For Demon Slayer?
Yeah, it's just weird.
It works on its own goddamn schedule. Have you not noticed?
I just think it's odd.
Demon Slayer don't care. Demon Slayer's got so much freaking money to do whatever the hell they want.
I guess.
And all these people, they're going to finish it? Oh, they're going to finish it? Like,
yes, no.
Do you not
they're
see
certainly
it?
not going to finish
like
it.
just crushing the entire American comic book market in manga form? Like, anyway.
I just thought it was odd. What's going to take up its time slot? I don't know.
I don't know how these things work in Japan.
I don't
man.
know if I've ever even seen that before. It's
Maybe they'll
interesting
have some
thing.
more fucking Takeshi's Castle.
That'd be amazing.
It fucking would be.
Oh, that's what the G4 reboot's going to be.
Oh. Yeah, except the commentary is going to be a whole hell of a lot worse.
No, man. It's going to be old Star Trek and that because that's all they have.
That's all I ever really watched. Anyway, we should get the show on the road.
Yeah, man. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how epically we got burned on Attack on Titan because it's kind of funny. And we're going to talk about, Dota Dragon's Blood.
Yep.
We watched it. It's actually...
Well, we watched the first season.
We watched the first season, and I was oddly impressed. And we are going to fucking review one of my favorite anime of all time, Emptygeist.
Hey, and don't you be sleeping on my boy Ray Harryhausen.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about claymation because we got drunk and watched JASON the Argonauts the other night.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fucking phenomenal. But before we do any of that stuff,
The animation's phenomenal.
a lot of news this week.
There is a lot of news this week, but it's all fairly tame. So, for once.
There's a lot of boring news this week.
Yeah. So, Puzzle and Dragons, this news gets me a little rise. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Puzzle and Dragons game is getting a Switch release. So, Puzzle and Dragons is pretty classic. I like a good old puzzle game.
Yeah, man.
Like Columns, and Puzzle and Dragons has been pretty big over in Japan for a while. So, hey, getting a Switch release. Check that one out if you're looking for it. Coming out over here in the West.
If you like puzzles and dragons.
Yeah, in a few days. All I know is I remember them being pretty well regarded, and that it's got that classic puzzle shit going on, so that's cool.
They're held in high regard.
You just don't get a lot of that anymore, right? Like you get some indie stuff, but like where's that? Where's Columns? Where's
I know.
It all turned into stupid phone games, so you don't get them on a console anymore.
That's true.
I don't want
And
to play
phone
stupid
games are fucking
and they're all
annoying.
freemium garbage. Like I ain't got no time for that.
I ain't got no time.
Anyway, ain't got no time for that, so I don't have no time for that. Next bit of news here. This caused some consternation for sure. So Nintendo has shut down their eShop for the Wii U and the 3DS.
Wow.
The Wii U one, I don't know that anybody was super upset about. Someone was upset about it. But the 3DS one, people were not too happy about it because there's a lot of...
Yeah, you figured they would just want money regardless.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to keep the servers running, I guess. And I get it. They're trying to push everybody to the Switch, but they need a clamshell or smaller Switch version. They need a true portable Switch version, I guess is my point. I know some people say it is, but like...
That thing's a beast, man.
Something you could fit in your pocket is not the Switch.
No.
Unless you got some pockets I don't even want to know about.
Fat guy like cargo pants.
Even that, I don't know, man. That's
Right.
pushing it. So hopefully that'll happen. But yeah, shutting down the shop. That's sad. Now, it's happening quick too. By like middle of this year. So
They're okay. Rip that Band-Aid off.
now I'm assuming you'll still be able to play all your stuff. But hey, if you're looking to play something on the damn 3DS shop, you better go do it soon. All right, so here's a bit of news that I have mixed feelings about.
Uh-oh.
So they're saying that the Transformers Rise of the Beasts movie is the first of a trilogy. So, of course it's a trilogy. What the fuck isn't a trilogy? But I have mixed feelings.
Who's doing it?
So, I mean, it's obviously Paramount, right? It's not Michael Bay. I mean, I'm sure he's involved somehow where he gets to put his name on it and collect
I
money.
think Michael Bay got shot into the center of the
Yeah.
sun because I haven't heard shit from him in forever.
Yeah, so the first one's going to be was delayed
I
from
bet
2022.
explosions are racist.
I don't know. Michael Bay just got the hell out before like they caught up to all the bad shit he's probably done in the past.
Yeah, he's probably a fucking.
If
awful
anyone's the
human.
last cocaine-fueled maniac of freaking Hollywood,
Right.
it's Michael Bay.
Like they have him sequestered off somewhere where they can't get to him.
So yeah, I mean it looks like it's more the I don't know. It's hard to say. It looks like it's going to be the team that was more involved with Bumblebee.
Bumblebee was pretty decent,
but
if I recall.
But it's not the whole team because they're working on a different script, and I don't freaking know, man. Like, I can't keep up on exactly what's going on with Transformers.
I barely care anymore.
And I didn't do a ton of research to figure out what the hell is going on because I figure when it comes out, if it looks all right, I'll check it out. If it doesn't, I won't.
It's one of those things. Like when Bumblebee came out, I was like, kind of pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it was decent.
So if it's good, it's good. If not, it's not.
Exactly.
At least I don't have to count out to China anymore. Like the end of that, the one with the Dinobots where they're like, we're
Like
in
they
China,
won't anyway.
stomping around, nothing's happening, whatever.
Like they won't anyway. Anyway. So there's also a new series coming out for Transformers. So more Transformers news, but this is TV news for the most part. So apparently it's going to be a Nickelodeon, which that's a interesting combo.
That's odd. Well, Paramount.
It's another, it'll be another CG show, most likely. Doesn't say here, but I'm going to make the bold assumption that it is because pretty much everything is. And there's also going to be a movie, apparently, a full CG movie slated for 2024. We'll see. We'll see what actually happens.
Huh. That's odd. They're doing a lot of that shit. They did that whole, like they did the crap He-Man series, and then they did that little kid, like
the little kid one that was way less offensive.
Yeah, that was like way better.
Yeah.
But that's like weird CG. Like He-Man is fucking.
It's strange.
Gigantic and weird.
It's strange.
So maybe they're doing the same.
So anyway, I don't know. There's a 26 episode series coming out on Nickelodeon, and then a movie in 24. Whether they're exactly related or not, hey, we'll find out. I suppose.
There's literally like 5 IPs left, and they're just gonna make like 600 shows per IP.
Speaking of which,
pretty funny.
There's gonna be a third Sonic film. Third. I didn't say second. I didn't stutter. I didn't skip over the second.
One's getting made like right now, as far as I know.
The second one is actually going to be out on April 8th. Apparently.
Okay. So yeah.
So that's actually further along than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I thought it was coming up, but I didn't know how soon.
So yeah, I didn't think it was that soon. But hey, it's coming out soon. Regardless, they are going to do a third one. So I haven't watched the first one yet. I suppose I have Paramount Plus for another couple weeks. Probably should watch it just to see.
Oh, I think all the South Park's moving to Paramount Plus.
I would assume so.
That's cunty, man.
Yeah.
I liked when everything was on HBO Max. Nice and neat.
Yeah, well, because Paramount Plus mostly sucks. Although it is cool, it has a bunch of weird old movies on it.
It does.
I give credit for that.
Does it have all the old Universal stuff? Or am I crazy?
No, I don't think so.
Fine, I'm wrong. Okay.
I don't think because it didn't seem to have all the really classic like Universal monsters and stuff. I did not.
Yeah, that's why
that.
I was wondering where all that shit went. I don't.
It's probably on Peacock.
Honestly, I don't know.
Of course, it's on Peacock if it is on anything.
Oh yeah, because that's Universal. I was just trying to think who owned Universal. But
I can't keep track.
Yeah, I know it's so hard.
Really, like 3 companies own all these.
No, it really is
which,
only 3 companies.
Which level down? Like I don't freaking know, man. Less streaming services, more content. I know that's not a paradox.
Wow.
Anyway, third Sonic movie. Yeah, get hype. Consume product. Get ready for next product. I don't know.
Listen, you haven't even consumed product yet.
I just can't believe they already announced it. I thought that was interesting. All right. So, I have some good-ish Lord of the Rings news. Good because it looks like it's going to be really cool-ish because it's not coming out till April 2024.
Oh, you're talking about the anime?
The animated one.
I've been waiting for that because that's probably going to be awesome.
This piece of concept art looks really goddamn cool. Weta did it. So this is the one, Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, directed by Kenji Kamiyama, who we've talked about before. He did Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, probably his most famous thing. Eden of the East as well. So this isn't coming out till 2024. But this has, it's done in partnership with New Line and Warner Brothers.
Wah, wah, wah.
So it's not,
It's not woke proof.
well, I'd say mostly. It's certainly not.
Listen, it's woke resistant, not woke proof.
Well, it's certainly not the goddamn Legend of the Rings, Power of the Rings,
Ring power.
We Was Dwarves, whatever the hell it is.
Was dwarves. I haven't heard that one. That's good.
But yeah, it's terrible. I think I stole that from somebody else. So yeah, Warner Brothers is distributing it, so whatever. I mean, I'm assuming that means it will show up on HBO Max at some point, but it's also going to be in theaters. I will pay to go see this because it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I was kind of hot for it when I first heard about it. So,
and I guess we got confirmation too that the film will be 2D, not 3D. So that's cool too.
Oh yeah, that's way better.
So I'm hyped. This actually seems interesting. This has like involvement from some of Peter Jackson's people and some people that actually give a shit. So, and it's coming out so far in the future, I'm assuming they know better.
Right.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited. This will be pretty cool. It's a lot of it's like the history of Helm's Deep.
You know what's interesting?
So that's cool.
I was actually reading a thing a while back, like the Netflix one. They were actually developing a good one, and then they fired everybody. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, because they had, like, the lore master working
Oh, yeah,
on it.
no,
That
I
was,
saw
like,
that.
the most based guy. But then they had, like, a whole other writing team that was, like, working on something. They're like, no, we need Black Elves. You won't do it. They fired everyone and started from scratch. That's crazy, right?
I'm just going to make a Black Panther movie with nothing but Asians in it. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Too bad. Sorry.
If
That's
you
what happens.
can make up a word salad excuse for it, and it'll be fine.
Sure, I can. There's somewhere. I'll figure out a way to put them lower on the victim stack. Or higher on the... However that works.
If you're trying to get to the height of the victim pyramid.
Yeah, I'll go consult with James Lindsay and we'll figure this out.
The victimhood industrial complex.
Yeah, you tell me. You tell me how to make this happen. All right, moving on. So in the least, and I already basically said it, but in the least surprising news ever, they're gonna do a Swordsmith Village arc for Demon Slayer. It's gonna get a TV anime. No shit.
Yeah, right. Like,
And more. And more of the most no shit news you'll ever hear. Jujutsu Kaisen's gonna get a second season.
no.
I only bring up the second one because it's gonna be out in 2023. So
Mind blown.
I know, right? Like, oh, you mean after the movie became like one of the highest grossing animated movies?
Why does everyone
Japanese
hate,
history?
Why does everything hate 2022? It's like nothing new's going to come out. It's like, nope, got to wait till 2023 for everything.
I know. Shit takes time.
Let's just grind the shitty year.
So anyway, 2 little bits of news. No shit. More Demon Slayer, more Jujutsu Kaisen. Good to know Jujutsu Kaisen will be in 2023. Demon Slayer, I don't think they have even the first clue when it'll actually be out. I'm assuming
2024.
Yeah, I'm assuming end of 2023 if we're lucky.
They spend a lot of money on it. It takes a while to animate.
Yeah, if we're lucky. Oh, and this one Hashira is like the dirtiest, thickest thing because of course she is.
He really does like his like short, thick girls.
It's how the man rolls.
I don't
And
blame
you know
him.
what? Thumbs up.
He's doing God's work.
Doing God's work. All right, last bit of news here, so we can move on. In just Japan letting their powers combine to maximize merchandise sales and maximize merchandise sales. The picture is awesome. They're making sure to jam together Anno's Godzilla, Ultraman, Evangelion, and Kamen Rider stuff. Like
All in one
we're
thing.
gonna cross over. We're
Yes.
selling you stuff. Like we're making it
Oh,
happen.
man, I want a million crossovers. It's going to be amazing.
Merchandise tie-ins. This picture is freaking amazing.
Oh, I want to see that fucking Ultraman movie.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I got delayed, but I'm in.
Like I said.
May 13th. So we'll see it sometime around 2023.
I know. 2022.
And allegedly, Kamen Rider is going to be out in March of 2023, but we'll see.
2022 is forfeit. It's a dead year. Let's just move on.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Hey, I'm in. So anyway, that's the last bit of news I got for today. So I suggest perhaps we might want to move on to talking about what the hell crap we watched this week.
I might as well get down to the thing we were talking about before. Season finale in the middle of the season.
Demon Slayer.
Too much goddamn backstory.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that style of storytelling where you just have like a long flashback to give somebody backstory, and a lot of anime does it. Like One Piece does it. One Piece is usually good about doing it before a fight or like in the middle of a fight, which is
what was interesting,
not quite as bad,
is all like the 3 or 4 episodes before that were so action packed, and so intense, but they just could have peppered in like 2 minutes of backstory in each one.
Yeah, and I'm not. Agreed. That could pace it better. No problem there. And they peppered some backstory in there, but my main problem is they didn't do enough to wrap up the aftermath of all of that. You didn't even get a good epilogue.
They're all mostly dead.
You didn't even get a good epilogue.
How the fuck did you get back? Like how did anything happen?
They should have done a little more. And it looks like there's only like 3 chapters worth of stuff. They probably should just tack that on, and I was hoping they were, but they didn't. So I don't know. I just don't like where it ended, more so because I think there's a better spot to end it than where they did.
Yeah.
And it felt like the backstory, I don't know. I guess it's necessary. But where it was a little.
Yeah, it's like the battles. Issues. I don't need the like post.
For an extra long episode, you could have extra long backstory.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's still awesome.
It still looks amazing. It's still good. The backstory itself is fine. It's just where it's placed, how it's paced.
I wanted more of an epilogue to that whole thing. You know what I mean? Like
just a little bit, just a little taste.
Like you're all mostly dead. How the fuck did you get back to like the village? You know what I mean? Like
what's the reaction to actually defeating that demon? You got a tiny taste of that, but not.
Yeah,
you needed a little more. I was a little more.
I was unsatisfied.
Just a little bit more.
But that's life. You always get what you want.
But that's Demon Slayer. I mean, not much else to say about that episode.
I mean, I'd be pissed if that was the end of the series, but like you're obviously getting more. Like it's just kind of a end of a season.
So let's not belabor it and move on to Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan was like not a lot happened, but the one thing we were talking about last week, the one loose end we thought was not going to get tied up.
Yep.
They mentioned it.
They're going to do something with it. Yeah, there's a nice teaser about, Annie, something's going to happen, right? Finally, because I really do think the writer had he was just like, oh crap, I gotta do something about this. Because there are times where Attack on Titan feels a little slipshod.
Oh yeah.
Like I love Attack on Titan. I'm not crapping on it anyway, but sometimes it has a little bit of that lost feel where
it's like
the show where
like the guy who wrote it didn't really know where he was going until he was there,
or he did, but it didn't have enough details, or he did and then he changed his mind. I can't quite tell. Like,
you just get that feeling though, like the stuff that's just like they were tying up inconsistencies later on. You know what I mean?
They kind of just meandered a bit, and we're like, shit, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. Like Levi's still around somewhere, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's dead, right?
That was heavily implied that he is not, even though he should be.
Oh, I was thinking that too. Like Levi and the chick with the glasses. Hanji. Yeah, Hanji. What the fuck happened to those two?
They ran off. Well, Hanji ran off with Levi, but
there's so much season left. Like with fucking Demon Slayer ending, I'm like, oh shit, the season's almost over. No, it's like halfway over. Like most shit's on like episode 6.
Well, Attack on Titan started a lot later. Although Demon Slayer, it started even later than Demon Slayer started its actual season. Like, it's again, Attack on Titan, much like Demon Slayer, can do whatever the fuck it wants, start whenever it wants, and end whenever it wants.
It's true. They're usually tight on their seasons, though. You know? What I mean?
They don't care.
It's all advertising.
I imagine a lot of
time slots.
Yeah, but I would imagine with a lot of like the Koof stuff and whatever else, like they got to be a little more flexible on when things air and when stuff comes out.
Well, I mean, Jesus Christ, every fucking voice actor on Earth had the Koof like last week.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and Attack on Titan's going to miss a week coming up, like after episode 86, 87, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to skip a week, but whatever. But yeah, so the episode itself, like you said, not a ton happens. You get that little stinger. You get a little bit of character work there.
Oh, you know what? I fucking hate Sasha. Don't try to redeem that stupid cunt.
You get a little character work there.
Fucking hate her.
Yeah, I'm not.
Stupid, obnoxious zealot. Like, to the bitter end, and now they're going to try to give her, like, a redemption arc. Fuck you. That's crap.
I don't disagree. But it's consistent. It's consistent.
I just fucking hate that character archetype. Like, you just I'm going to do the stupidest thing forever, like, and never stop.
But I mean, was there any choice in life but to be as, look at this. Unprofessional.
I get, like, no calls per week, and it's
Turn
like,
that damn
always-
phone off.
It's, like, literally always.
Fucking savage. Yeah, I don't know. Her character arc, I get it. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that character archetype either, but I can have a little sympathy because, you know, how could you not be a bit of a radical in that environment? But
She was an extra zealot.
But I was going to say, she was clearly a radical before even all the shit happened with Eren. Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If she had just been somewhat normal and then that shit radicalized her, I think I would have liked it a little better. And her character would be a little more sympathetic. Because, like, watching all your friends get killed right there, like, shit. But instead, they always showed her as a bit of a fanatic. Even before that, she was a fanatic. So it doesn't sit as well.
Whatever. Maybe
but-
it's just me. I find her extremely irritating.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a fan of the character. Like, I don't know.
I wanted them to just, like, get out the broom and shuffle her, like, under the rug. I don't want any more Sasha.
Yeah, man, you shot fucking Potato Chan.
Yeah, right.
I'll never forgive you. Yeah, and then you got a little bit of, you know, I like people's reactions to what's going on. Like, are you fucking, it was like, you know, you gotta be fucking kidding. Like,
Right.
really? Is this what he's really gonna do? Like, I don't know. They're like, oh, let's go stop him. Well, no one can stop him because he can control everybody. I don't know about that. You know, it seems like they're forming a team of Titans to be able to deal with him. Like, you know, if you're gonna deal with Annie, and then you got the Jaw Titan, because they got the Jaw Titan captured, right? Because they got
Oh, yeah, that kid, yeah.
Falco.
Well, fucking...
and you still have
Reiner doesn't have his fucking... Like, I don't know if he can even, like, harden anymore.
I don't know if Reiner's going to fucking live.
That
Let's
is
be
also
clear.
true.
He's really fucked up, and he was already getting towards the end of his lifespan.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Maybe, they're going to have Sasha eat him.
They might. They just might. I don't
I'd
know.
be so fucking mad.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? Well, people who read the manga.
It'd be
And then
boring.
we'll see if it ends the same
I
way.
guess it'd be boring if they only did what I wanted every time.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to watch it till the end and hope it ends well, and if it doesn't, well, oh well. I mean, I'm not going to be happy about it, but we'll see. We'll see
That's
what
one
happens.
of those shows. It'll be something to yak about. I don't think they'll Game of Thrones it.
No, I don't think it.
I don't think it has
that
to
bad. Although
like-
Japan is king of bad endings. Like,
They really are.
people often forget that.
It's like they took all their like writing lessons from fucking Stephen King.
Yeah, right. Right. Now, listen, a lot of the real classics are classics because they nailed the ending. Right? Like Cowboy Bebop nails the ending.
Oh, definitely.
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, to me, nails the ending.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
You know, that's why.
Well, I mean, compared to that weird movie, like I don't know, Booty of Shambhala or whatever the fuck it was.
Conqueror Shambhala. Conqueror Shambhala had some cool ideas, but I don't know. We'll talk about Fullmetal Alchemist at some point, I'm sure. We'll at least do a rewatch of Brotherhood at some point.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years.
So, anyway, that's all we got to really
is
say.
what it
any
is.
other stuff you want to mention?
Everything
Like-
else I was watching, it was kind of like, I won't call it filler episodes, but nothing exciting happened.
Yeah, Monster of the Week or whatever it is.
Yeah, shit like that.
Sure. All right. Then I suppose we can move on to Dota. So let's talk about Dota. Let's get deep in this.
Classic fucking D&D adventure.
Yeah, Dota, Blood of the Dragon. Oh, Dragon's Blood. Sorry.
Whatever.
Dragon's Blood. And this was on Netflix, and it came out a while ago. So second season just came out, so it floated back to the top.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was like, okay, well, a lot of these series are pretty good. Like, I thought Blood of Zeus, that's where I'm getting the Blood of Dragons. Blood of Zeus was pretty good.
Blood of Zeus was decent.
I like
yeah.
Blood of Zeus.
Anything that's done like by the Castlevania crew is pretty decent.
It looks,
Whoever
I mean,
animates that.
they can go poorly, I've heard, but I haven't seen one yet where I was like, oh, it's bad.
Yeah, if there's a bad one, I haven't watched it yet.
No. And Castlevania I liked, although season 3 is a mess and has that weird Alucard woke scene that doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
With
yeah, with like the...
threesome and the Alucard's whole story in season 3 shouldn't exist. But season 4
yeah.
is excellent, and it redeems it entirely.
Yeah, it does.
And hopefully when they do this movie here coming up, I'm actually not as worried about Warren Ellis not being around because his writing is always a little weird and cringy to me. So it's a little too 90s edgelord.
Oh, God. He started that like dialogue style that everybody rips off now, where it's like wicked wordy and like I wish I could describe it better, but
it's very Tarantino.
Yeah, it's true.
He's trying to be Tarantino. He's not Tarantino. So anyway, having watched all those other ones and they've been, pretty good. Well, all those other ones, a couple other ones, but all the seasons and they were pretty good. Figured, hey, why not check out Dota? I mean, especially after like Arcane was excellent, and that not expecting this to be anything like Arcane, but maybe something that is just some sort of animation based on a MOBA.
It's a diamond in the rough.
Maybe it'll be good. You know what? It was pretty good, pretty solid.
I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, look. Don't look for anything like innovative or.
It's very basic, and that's why I liked it.
Or anything like, don't expect it to be Arcane.
It literally, like, what do we always talk about? The shonen formula. It literally follows the shonen formula.
It's
pretty basically.
Yeah, it's a very simple hero's journey.
It follows like
formula.
the short form, formula.
It's hero's journey,
like a Demon Slayer style or stuff. Where it's there's gonna be like an ending. It doesn't like drag on forever. Like
standard hero's journey, right? It's bog standard hero's journey stuff. The whole thing.
Yep.
It's very basic storytelling, which is fine. It's got little twists because, of course, it does, right? Otherwise, it would be actually boring. It's got interesting enough characters. It's got likable enough characters, which is
very likable.
Most things fail.
Even ones you're not supposed to like, you're kind of likable.
Well, you need that, right? Like a lot of the best villains have charisma. You know
True.
what I mean? Like people like Darth Vader, even though he's the worst.
He is the worst.
And I mean, episode 4 to 6, Darth Vader. Episode 1 to 3, Darth Vader has no charisma at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
He has good memes, though.
Those movies have no charisma whatsoever.
Anyway, they're fucking masterpieces compared to 7 and 9. Continuing, and they're all masterpieces compared to whatever garbage they're shoveling out nowadays. So, Dota. So what the fuck is Dota about? You're asking, since we're blathering about all sorts of other things that aren't Dota. So, Dota Dragon's Blood, you have Davion, who's the main character.
Dragon Slayer.
He's a Dragon Knight, sir. Dragon Knight. So he basically sees the whole plot revolves around him finding like this elder worm, basically there's various types of dragons and the elder worms are the eldest of each of those dragons, right?
Yeah.
And they can even like talk to each other on a weird other plane, and it's crazy. So he finds one of them and he's like, we'll just leave that the hell alone. We'll leave that alone. We're not going to touch it. And then of course some local jagoff is all pissed off and is like, no, I'm going to go kill it. Cause it's one of the other guys who was in that like crew to take down the dragon. Cause there was another dragon, a much smaller one who was terrorizing a town, and they take that down. And the crew that's there is, they saved the nearby town. But then the guy who was leading that crew was like, no, we can't leave it alone. I'm drunk and I'm going to go destroy it myself.
Yeah, they think because it's sleeping, it won't just wake up and murder them.
And then he gets his ass kicked by Davion. And then he gets possessed by a demon. So the demon.
That's how that goes.
The demon Terrorblade. So it says they give you some stuff early on. And I don't even remember all the backstory of like prehistory and what the demon's goals are. But he wants to remake reality, basically.
Yeah,
he needs to like capture the pillars of the earth essentially, so he can remake all of reality.
It's your standard demon wants to remake the world in his demon image type of thing.
Correct. So his name's Terrorblade, which is silly, but
super cringy.
Whatever.
That's gotta be like that's like the only video game thing where you're like that is from a video game.
So anyway, you also get introduced here to the Princess Marana, who's a human princess. For some reason I thought she was an elf earlier, but it's because they're like, she's from the Night Silver Woods. So apparently there's lots of people living in various woods. There's both elves and humans.
Yeah.
And there's clearly bad blood between them. And they're both religious zealots for, what's it? She's like, there's like the goddess of the moon.
Yeah.
And it seems like they both worship the goddess of the moon.
It would seem so.
But the goddess of the moon is a horrible bitch. What the hell is her name? Salamene.
Giant titty master.
Yeah, she reminds me a bit of the the one from Goblin Slayer, the like
Yes.
priestess girl. Very, very ridiculous over the top character design. So yeah, there's nothing woke here. There's no like,
Not even a hint of it.
I catch no feminist stuff in here. Anyway, you get, so you got Marana, who's going to end up traveling with Davion. Marana's friend, Marcy, who's a mute.
And has like weird super strength for some reason that they don't explain.
Yeah, and
I'm sure they'll explain it eventually, but they kind of hint at it.
Yes. Yeah, there's something going on there. And then there's some sort of cat monster that she can ride around on.
Anyway, Marcy's a very likable character for one that never says anything.
Yes. But Marana can ride around on this.
Oh yeah, it's basically Battle Cat.
Battle cat monster. And then, what happens is, so Davion, he realizes that guy, went back down the pit to go fight the Elder Worm. He goes down there and then, I don't know, he gets horrified Lovecraft style because he sees things he shouldn't see. Because apparently the guy, the Dragon Slayer, he's not really a Dragon Slayer. He's just like a mercenary or whatever.
Chump, yeah.
Yeah. He basically, since he's possessed by the demon, they then possess the corpse of the other dragon that was killed earlier. And then that dragon's going to fight the Elder Worm. And the Elder Worm's going to wake up. And oh my God. But then as the dragons are fighting, Davion actually kills the demon dragon.
He like helps out the Elder Worm.
Sends the demon scurrying away. And the Elder Worm's like, yeah, man, that's cool. And then he just like slashes his throat.
Kills him.
And like mixes their blood together such that like the Elder Worm can hide inside of...
Yeah, like he knew he was going to die, so he just kind of like half possessed.
So Davion just wakes up like in the forest naked and freaking Marana finds him and has to save his ass. But, he's got a horrible werewolf thing going on, but he's a were-dragon.
Oh, yeah. Everybody likes a were-dragon.
And yeah, they eventually... So we won't get into the whole series, but eventually they get... they have to go to this... Sage, the Invoker, who's the Invoker. He turns out to be this.
He's like way too powerful.
Super powerful, almost. I mean, I thought he was a god for a while.
He's
but
a fucking wizard.
But he apparently was making time with Salamene, the goddess, before.
And they had a kid.
And then there's a couple other characters that come in. There's Fimrin, which is like a young elf girl who's a crazy fanatic, and like all her friends get killed, and she gets taken in by the Invoker, and stuff ensues, right? She's got powers. I'm sure most of these are characters in the damn game, and people will know far better than I what's going on here. And then the other major character is Luna, who is the elf. She's not like a queen at all. She's just I don't know what the hell she is. She's like a war general.
She's a
whatever
enforcer.
She's a terror. And then she goes on this. She cuts a bloody swath all over the place because Salamene basically tells her to do it, and then later is like, "I didn't tell you to do that." Like typical politician crap.
Such a bitch.
Anyway, there's a lot more that goes on in the show. It's 8 half-hour-ish episodes. Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend it.
It's awesome because they don't do too much. They stick to very basic like characters, tropes, the whole thing.
Very kind of bog standard fantasy.
Very enjoyable. No weird shit. Like maybe even if I watched it like 10 years ago, I'd still like it. I'm trying to think if it's just like sometimes I like stuff just because it's not woke. It's like
no.
This is nice and normal. You know what I mean?
We never got enough.
But it's definitely like it's solid.
We never got enough standard fantasy anime.
It's true.
Either it's got some other stuff going on, which is fine, like, Escaflowne, where you got mechs and stuff, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I like all the weird twists, but, like, sometimes I just want a bog standard freaking fantasy, kind of like Lotus War, right? Good ones of those are few and far between, right? So I think I would have liked it because it's, it's another good animated, and the animation's good. It's I don't know if it's the same studio, but it looks the same as a lot of that other Netflix animation, like Blood of Zeus or Castlevania.
Yeah, it's like same studio.
I'm assuming, but I don't know that it is. I didn't check.
I liked it a lot. I want more. Well,
it's good.
There is more.
Yeah, there's one more season, so we'll check out that second season and report back on, does it fall off? Is it still good? Because this first season doesn't try to do too much either. Like it has a decent arc and it's got a decent, decent resolution to that, but it leaves enough hanging out there for you to be, interested in another season and, figure out some of the deeper mysteries and how they resolve stuff. So they do a good job with that. They really did a good job with that. They kept it simple, basic hero's journey.
I applaud them for keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Because there's probably so much pressure to like either make it overly complicated. You know how everything's super complicated now?
Everything's got to subvert expectations or have a twist or whatever.
Or have like the villain actually be the hero, except they do a bad job with it.
I blame M. Night Shyamalan for some of this shit.
Yeah, it's like the worst.
And Roundhead Johnson. But
all I want is normal like adventure shit. And it ticks every box for me. So highly recommended by me anyway so far.
Also, one last thing that it's got to entice you in, it's got the voice of Tony Todd, the original Candyman.
Yep.
As the Dragon Slyrak, which is the one that's hiding out in Davion. So, yeah, it's good stuff. It's good. It's good adult animation without being just edgy for the sake of being edgy.
Yeah, it is nice that they could just like drop F-bombs whenever they
Like
want to.
I'm
and it's like ultra violence.
Yes. I'm
Like-
glad we're finally getting to the point where you can get something like an adult anime. And I don't mean adult, a teenage anime, right? Like,
No, like seinen.
Yeah, seinen, exactly.
Kind of like Attack on Titan, where it's brutal when it has to be.
Yes. So, yeah, check it out. I mean, it's on. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe to Netflix for obvious reasons, but, go check it out. Good stuff.
Check it out however you have to check it out.
Correct. All right. So,
It reminded me of, it made me think, it has nothing to do with it, but it made me think of Dragon Prince. Because I think a new season of that's coming out.
yeah, that I have not
That
watched, so I
is
cannot
the
talk about it.
like the actual dude. You know how like
Yeah, it's very Avatar related. I
well,
know.
Avatar was it was like 3 people,
It
but
was
like
two people. I
the
think,
main
whatever it
guy
is.
bounced and he did that. And it's weird because it's like it's really really good, but you like they just fucking shoehorn some like woke shit in there, and he like tries to glass over it because he's like very much not into that. But it's just like, oh man, it's like so distracting sometimes. So I'm curious to see like the new season if they like dial that shit back.
Fair enough. We'll have a Dragon Prince aside someday. Maybe we'll talk about Avatar as well.
That's just thoughts. I watched all the Dragon Prince. I gotta watch the last season again because I watched the whole thing. It was the dropper incident on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that can happen.
And there's a lot of colors and a lot of stuff going on, and I was not paying attention to the plot. I know they delivered the dragon egg, but that's all I got out of it.
Well, there you go. There's your fast break for Dragon Prince. All right. I have nothing to say about Dragon Prince, so I'm going to move on to...
Sorry, things just pop into my brain.
I know. I understand. Nothing wrong with that. Dragon Prince is a good call for something to check out in the future because it's an interesting compare and contrast.
It was so fucking good. If you could get past like the weird lesbian shit and like the it's just
the inserted for the stuff that doesn't naturally fit into the story.
yeah,
right?
it's like
who cares if there's lesbian couples?
it's
but-
like they did it
yeah.
after. It's like he did the whole thing, and then they're like, nah, you have to make the king black for no reason. You have to make like
Yeah.
it's just funny.
called a rewrite. That's when they come in and get like what's her face to come right up. Go get Vita Ayala. Hey, come fucking punch this up.
You mean easy.
Yeah. No comment.
Anyway,
I'm moving on to Jason and the Argonauts now. All right. So Jason and the Argonauts. So we're not going to review the whole thing. It's an old 63, I believe, 62 or 63, 1962 to 63
Yep.
movie, right? The movie itself, it's got a lot of nostalgia value for me. It's not great. The
It's
story's great.
fucking corny as shit.
Yeah, it's corny as hell. The actors are mediocre for the most part. Some are really good, but mostly they're not that great. It's
The
got
guy who plays Zeus is so retarded.
oh yeah, it's got a lot of
Oh, God.
ridiculous. Oh God, special effects, and I'm not talking about because the stop motion stuff's really cool, but there's a lot of other stuff that's dodgy as hell. Yeah, it's just.
I don't
a
even know if they
mess.
had green screens back then.
Oh, I don't know what the hell they did for half of that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of times they painted it right on the.
Oh, there's some of that going on
Yeah.
where it's like painted right on a backdrop or it's
Sometimes that looks super cool.
Oh, agreed.
I think a lot of the shit in Big Trouble in Little China, like the lightning guy, that's all painted on.
Oh, they painted that right on the cells.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's super cool.
But my point about all this is, don't expect the movie itself, if you haven't seen it, to be like the greatest thing you've ever seen. It's all about the stop motion bits. Right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Very, very cool.
Fucking Talos.
Although, the story is good, so go read the original Greek legend because it's cool. And the woman who plays Medea is really hot, so you have that to look forward to as well.
A lot of those old movies back then had just some like amazingly genetically superior women.
Gorgeous actresses. So anyway, yes, the stop motion animation. So if you don't know what stop motion animation is, my God, where have you been? But
what hole have you been?
They haven't. I mean, it doesn't get used much anymore, but it was an old technique. King Kong. Think the original, and I mean 1933 King Kong, right?
If you watched Gravity Falls, like the last season, there is an episode with like claymation where they're basically ripping off Jason and the Argonauts.
Or think about so I suppose the easiest examples. Think about a lot of that Tim Burton stuff.
Oh yeah.
Or like Coraline or James and the Giant Peach, right? Like that's stop motion animation, right? And I know this is probably patronizing to a lot of you because you probably know exactly what the hell it is, and you're like, move on. So
it's our job to explain.
So, back in the day, they would use that in composite. Instead of just doing it as a whole movie, which I think is always impressive, they would do that and composite it in with real actors, right? So you got some guy like waving a sword around randomly and then getting attacked by like a stop motion monster at the same time. And it's very cool. And, there's three or four really big scenes. I mean, there's the harpy scene, which is kind of cool, but the harpies are, I don't know, they're not all that interesting, but the scene is cool and it's a cool setup. The big ones are like the Hydra and the Hydra fight when he's getting the golden fleece.
Yep. Talos,
that's super classic.
That is my favorite.
Super giant bronze statue, like, 100 feet plus tall, that comes to life and starts stomping around because it's upset because Hercules is a weird, wacky jackass in this instead of, Hercules. He's even wackier than Kevin Sorbo Hercules. I don't understand. It's really weird.
It's super weird. I don't even know.
And then the skeletons. Everybody knows about the damn skeletons.
The skeletons is one of the most classic, stop motion scenes ever.
They released freaking Revoltech. Is it Kodabakaya? I think it's Kodabakaya. Whoever the toy company is in Japan, they released Revoltech skeletons, right? Really cool. So, I mean, they're just skeletons with swords and shields, and they attack, Jason and members of his crew. And, they actually, it's interesting because a lot of the movie, like the integration with the stop motion stuff is a little dodgy. Like I said, there's just waving of swords in general directions.
Some really good, though, because there's some shots where, like, they're like swinging at shields and like it connects. It's really cool.
I was just getting there.
Sorry.
So most of it is that bad stuff, but then you get to the stuff that's good because it's well choreographed, and that's the skeleton fight. The skeleton fight stuff is very well done.
Amazing.
They actually like really, you could tell like it took a lot of time, and that's why they didn't do it for everything. Where it wasn't that important, they didn't do it. When it was important, they did it. So yeah, we're not talking too much about it, but go check out this old stuff. Ray Harryhausen also, he worked on King Kong and he did all the visual effects for this. A lot of that old stuff. Golden Voyage of Sinbad.
If you enjoy film in any way, like just watch these because they're classic. Like you should know that they exist and you should see them.
Yes. Yeah.
Like original King Kong, all those Sinbad movies.
Oh, yeah. Go look up Ray Harryhausen, see what the hell he worked on, watch that stuff.
Definitely.
Basically, that's the recommendation. Through the avenue of Jason and the Argonauts, where it's pretty cool, and it's you got to rent it. Well, who knows? You got a VPN or something, you probably find it, but we rent it on, I think it was Amazon or something. So yeah, check it out. It would make the interesting thing too. Watching it was like a little surprised Japan hasn't made an anime about it or based a shonen on it or something because it's very good content.
All that Greek stuff is so classic.
Yeah, they really could.
It's really easy, yeah.
I'm sure someone will tell us that they did, but, whatever. We'll have
I
to
mean,
check
they've
it out.
done some stuff that I could think
They've done
of.
bits of it.
But yeah, they haven't done like Balls Out, all that stuff.
Yeah, just straight up the classics. So yeah, anyway, that's Jason and the Argonauts, Ray Harryhausen, and a little stop motion animation. And now it is time to shift gears. When you're talking about no stop motion animation, when you're talking about super corny, we're talking about ultra violence.
This is basically the movie that made us start this channel, if I recall.
I mean, MD Geist in his armor was Central Park Media's logo.
Yeah, for years.
Right?
Before they folded. Actually, for probably the entirety of their existence.
You are correct. So yeah, MD Geist. So this is an 80s OVA. It's about an hour long.
Yeah.
Not quite movie length. Like a lot of those were. Animation is good, but not phenomenal. It's not one of those like, oh my god, the animation. Like,
nah. It's middle of the road. It's not like distractingly bad, but it's not amazingly good either. So
no, it's good. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. But the centerpiece is the ridiculousness of it, the over the top, straightforward, single mindedness of it.
It's the height of the 80s. Like, it's 80s edgelord,
Yeah.
It's it has to fight with fucking Zeo Rhymer for like edgiest thing of the like 80s or 90s.
It's very similar in feel too.
Actually, no, that was 80s. And was it Zeo Rhymer 90s?
I don't remember.
I think it was like 1990 or 91.
I don't remember. Doesn't matter.
So,
it's all around the same time. Anybody who lived through this time period understands that the late 80s and early 90s are very fucking similar. They're almost a more coherent decade than if you put either of the other ones.
Yeah, it's kind of true. I would take like 87 through like 93 as a decade. Like, makes more sense.
It's not enough years.
Well, whatever. You know what I mean?
Talk about Latin at some point. All right. So, MD Geist. It's just, what can I say about MD Geist? So the story is super simple. Like they give you a bunch of backstory and flavor, and basically they're on some it's the future. It's humans. They're on some planet.
It's the future. Else. It has the same plot as the fuck is that? Kiriko.
Votoms.
Yes, it has the same plot as Votoms, where there's these two like fucking things having
different
like
scale.
100 million year interstellar war. They make super soldiers. Blah blah blah. Except MD Geist is such an amazingly terrible like super soldier that they like basically lock him up because he's a fucking psychopath.
Lock him up. They fucking jam him on a satellite and shoot him into space like it's fucking, I don't know, the freaking negative zone or whatever it was.
He's so fucking dangerous. They can't even kill him. They have to like put him on a satellite and hope he never crashes. Which 100%.
Spoiler alert, he totally crashed on this planet. So, yeah, it doesn't have quite that galactic scale of Votoms. This all takes place on one planet. It references the other planets.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Stuff. But it takes place on this one planet, and it's just like, it's the post-apocalypse, right? So they clearly wanted that Mad Max feel because
it's got that Max. Like, it's got that Fist of the North Star feel.
Exactly. Where, these people just keep fighting each other on this planet until forget about it. Like, everybody's going to be dead. And it's like the weird biker gangs who are genetically modified somehow, but they don't seem to be any better than anybody else.
I was not impressed.
Whatever. And then the regular army or whatever they are, who, they're just soldiers with tanks and powered suits and whatever else.
Yeah.
And they just fight each other forever. And then MD Geist shows up and fucks everybody up because that's what he does, because he's MD Geist. He is most dangerous soldier.
The thing with MD Geist is he's not a good guy. There is no good guy.
No, not at all.
This is not your hero's journey. There is no hero.
No.
MD Geist basically...
MD Geist does not learn. He does not grow. He's already the greatest.
Well, and he basically wants revenge against the guys who locked him up, even though he was a psycho and he probably deserved to be locked up. So.
Yes. Yes, he wants so much revenge that's the entire point of the plot. And he doesn't say a lot, and he has no time for any sort of sex with women. No matter how much they throw themselves at him, it's only one, but no time for that. He only has time to do revenge.
Okay, we got to go back and explain that. Because it's like the best scene in anything ever. Basically, he's on this planet. and he's trying to like this guy in a powered suit gets killed. So he's trying to like just take the powered suit off the guy.
He get killed by like the gang.
Yeah, so these gang guys come up and is like, oh, you can't take that suit, and he's just like, fuck off, like I have no time for you. And so he like kills the gang leader that's trying to like stop him
from taking the powered suit off the dead dude.
Yeah. And then this other chick comes over, she's like, fuck that guy, like, you know, like you should come work for us, blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, whatever. So they go back to like the gang's hideout, and she's trying to seduce him.
He's just lying on the bed, motionless.
He's lying
Fully
on the bed,
clothed.
motionless, and she's like grinding on him, everything. He's just like
She's stripping naked.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, like with the ultraviolets playing titties too. But anyway, like he's laying motionless on the bed. She's grinding on him, and he's just like, only thing I want out of you is fucking information. And he just grabs her by the hair, like throws her across the room.
Directly off the bed.
It's so
He's got no time for this
funny.
nonsense.
And then he just like rolls over and goes to sleep.
Yep.
Oh my god,
That's
funny.
Emptygeist.
But anyway, it's fucking hilarious, and it's got that like, it's got that super edgelord, like, you know, late '80s, early '90s feel that I fucking love. Can't get enough of it.
Oh yeah, it's very much in line with, you know, any of those other ones from the same time period, like Zeo Rhymer, which is similar, or even like Fight Ixer one.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
the plots
definitely.
are all different, but there's a lot of similar elements here, and similar level of animation, similar designs. Yeah, it's good stuff. So
Fucking
anyway,
suits are awesome.
what other things did you like about MD Geist?
I like that was the story. Like they did a good job of not trying to make him like this redeemable character. Like you're
No.
not supposed to like him. He's just fucking asshole.
He's
But you
just
don't
there.
hate him either, which is kind
That's
of
because
interesting.
you can't hate him because everybody else around him is an asshole
Yeah,
and they
like-
deserve it.
That's like a really interesting point too, because he's not a likable character, but no one else is really a likable character. But you kind of like him just because of his style.
He's a likable character because at least he looks cool and does cool things. Well, except for that mullet.
Come on, that's a legendary
Oh
moment.
my god.
It's so fucking good though. I don't know. It's just a fascinating way to write something. I like stuff as much as we go on about how great the hero's journey is and like all that shit and standard shonen. It's great to have something like that that's different, but you still like enjoy it. You just enjoy it for what it is.
You
know?
need this is short story length, right? This is under an hour, right? Like this is the area where you can get inventive and, you know, completely throw out standard plot rules and everything else to just do an interesting concept, and it can work very well.
No, it's really cool. I love it.
Right? So that's what I like about it, is that it doesn't care. It just doesn't give a shit about anything. It's just like single-minded. Like the people care. Like the people who made it clearly cared, right? They had a clear vision.
Oh,
they
yeah.
executed that vision. Is it perfect? No.
Plus, there's a excuse me. There's a whole plot going on around him about like
Oh yeah.
that AI thing that's gonna like kill like.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
basically gonna like blow up the world or whatever.
And the war and the what
And like all the
mutants,
other
whatever.
characters care about other shit, but he doesn't like. He gets like sucked into all their crap, but he doesn't give a shit. He just wants revenge. He's like he had like 5 names or something that he had to go kill. And that
Everyone
was it.
has concerns about the larger world. MD Geist does not give a shit. He's just collecting names. Like it's over. Well, and then he's becoming a genocidal maniac, but that's what MD Geist does.
Yep.
That's what he was made to do. MDSO2. I like that little detail too, right?
Yeah. Who's MDS?
Most Dangerous Soldier 02. Exactly. It makes you question, like, ooh, who's 01? Because there's at least one other one that you know has to be around, right? Which, I don't know. I have to watch the second one again because
We're gonna find out next week because
Death Army or whatever the fuck
We're
it's
gonna
called.
do Death Force, which is
Death
next
Force. Yeah, it's not Death Army. That's G Gundam Death Force. Such a good name.
Week. Well, that was the name of the thing at the end.
Yes, it was.
Death Force.
Yeah. This is also another cautionary tale. Like, don't give control over to AI robots to destroy things because that's dumb. That never ends well.
That whole setup was weird. It's just like this big. Wasn't it like a? Yeah, it was this big like city-sized thing that if it goes off, it will unleash like a million zillion AI robots onto this planet. I'm like,
To
why-
kill the 5 fucking people left on it.
Yeah, I'm like, why are we building this? What is your plan?
It was the ultimate spite weapon. It's just like, fuck everybody else. If we lose, fuck everybody else. Burn it down. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like nuking it from orbit, basically.
Yeah, why don't you just have it? It doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't have to make a lot of sense. The logistics behind it, don't think too hard. You think too hard, you already screwed up.
You're supposed to watch all these OVAs when you're mildly inebriated.
Yeah, you got to turn I don't know if you're going to be mildly inebriated, you just got to turn your brain off. Like, certain entertaining things, you need your brain shut off, because if you think about it too hard, forget about it. This is not high art. That's not what it's there for. This is not perfect.
Shakespeare, it is not. But it is fantastic.
I'd say it's more entertaining than Shakespeare.
for
personally.
what it does. There's only so much good Shakespeare.
Correct.
I mean, really.
I don't ever need to hear about Taming the Shrew again, let me just tell you.
Yuck.
Anyway, that's all I got to say about this one. I mean, no real complaints. It's super simplistic, fine. It's not that logical at times. Who cares? The characters are entertaining enough. The plot as it is fine. It serves the purpose. The action's good. The ultra-violence is good. And the main character's a hilarious maniac asshole. Even if he is a total asshole. So I got no real qualms about Emptygeist, man. I like it. I'd love to see a good, remastered, cleaned up version.
Oh, hell yeah.
But that's
for
about
me,
it.
this is one of the top 5 things that sold me on anime when I was a kid. I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is the awesomest, most violent, ridiculous things I've ever seen. I loved it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about all I got to say about Emptygeist. You have any last thoughts?
Nope. Next week we're gonna do Emptygeist 2, Death Force, and then we will have completed the. Man, it's not a trilogy. What the fuck? It's like I don't know. What's 2 things? It's a couple.
Duology.
We're gonna.
I think it's a duology
a duology.
instead of a trilogy.
Oh man, that seems complicated for no reason.
Again, do we have to have lessons in shitty Latin that I barely know?
Fair enough. Anyway, catch you guys next week.
Peace. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, entertaining.